Welcome to WMHK News. I'm Miss Renee with more on God's unfolding story. Remember, the truth of the Bible starts with the fact that God created everything, and it was beautiful and it was good. But the people disobeyed God, which made God's heart sad. But He didn't stop loving us. Instead, God chose a special people, and He had a special plan for those special people. He sent Jesus to help us. Jesus came and He died on the cross for our sins. And 3 days later, He rose from the dead. After Jesus rose from the dead, Jesus began the church. Now, Jesus is in heaven preparing a place for us. Today, we're going to find out more about one of those special people that God chose. Joining us now is one of those special people. Today, we have with us from the Nile, Miriam. Hi, Miriam. How are you today?
I'm great, Miss Renee. Thanks for having me join you guys on WMHK.
We are so glad to have you. Miriam, we are going to be learning a little bit about your brother, Moses. And we hear that you are the best person to tell us exactly what happened at the beginning of Moses' life. Can you help us understand what was going on in Egypt when Moses was born?
Of course, Moses has a very long story, but I was there at the beginning and at some other parts too. So at the beginning, my family was living in a place called Egypt. And the king, his name was Pharaoh, he was over everything, and he put out an order that any Israelite baby boy had to be killed. They couldn't live. And so at that time, my mommy, though, she had a baby in her belly. And it was a baby boy.
So I knew this part of the story, and this is the part that has me very interested. You are Israelites living in a land where the baby boys are going to be killed, but yet Moses was not killed. Tell me a little bit about what happened.
It was a little crazy. At first, my mom and dad decided we would keep our baby brother Moses with us at the house. But babies are very loud. So we couldn't keep it a secret really that long because Moses started to cry. And so my mom put together a basket that she wove herself, and she wrapped Moses up in a comfy blanket, and she put Moses in the blanket in the basket. And guess what, Mr. Renee? She put baby Moses in the Nile, which is the river right behind me.
In the river, right behind you.
Isn't that crazy?
That doesn't sound safe, Miriam. Can you tell me more?
Well, I was there too.
Okay.
You see, I was there in the reeds and the grass by the river, so I was able to keep a watch on Moses to make sure that he stayed safe and he was okay. But then some crazy stuff started to happen. The Pharaoh's daughter, the princess, she ended up at the river, and she saw Moses. She took Moses out of the water, and she held him, and she was going to take him as her baby.
Wait. The Pharaoh's daughter, the Pharaoh who wanted to kill the babies, now his daughter has the baby Israelite boy in her arms. I have to know how this story ends.
So the princess said, I can't take care of the baby. I need somebody to help raise the baby, help make sure he's healthy and he's growing. So I was there, and so I said, I know someone, my mom, who could take care of the baby boy, of Moses. And so my mom was able to help baby Moses grow up. And that's a big part of how Moses' story started, was in the Nile River right behind me.
That is so amazing. It is such a testament of how God always has a plan for His people. His plan for Moses started all the way when he was a baby. Miriam, I can't thank you enough for sharing with us about your brother Moses. We are looking forward to learning more about him on WMHK News. Thanks so much for helping us just get a glimpse of how it started. And friends, join us next week as we learn more about what happens in Moses' life.